what's up guys, and welcome to the very first episode of GameTracks. This is a channel that I dedicate to video game music. There's a lot of people out there that really enjoy video game music just as much as I do, and I really want to try to cover, every soundtrack that I can pretty much think of that I really enjoyed, growing up, now, currently, and maybe even some tracks in the future that I might end up coming across. This channel is mostly going to be talking more about the classical games, stuff from GBA, stuff from Sega Genesis, Super Nintendo, even arcade cabinets, different things like that. First things first, I'm not a musical expert, I'm not a video editor expert or anything. This is just something I like to do to just kind of shed some light on the video game music industry and show people that we actually appreciate the music that they create, because I feel like a lot of effort really does go into the soundtracks, especially stuff from the earlier generations, because of the limited resources that they had, and I really want to kind of show some exposure on that as well. Anyway, the very first game I'm going to cover is Streets of Rage 2. It is actually one of my favorite games of all time, and the soundtrack itself is just absolutely incredible. Easily one of the best ones that you can find on Sega Genesis, because of the musical quality. One thing Sega is kind of known for, or at least the Genesis is known for, is having a pretty bad rep for musical quality overall, especially if you compare it to Super Nintendo, but this is one of those games that really just kind of shattered those expectations and really fired on all cylinders. The game had great graphics, great gameplay, and the music just absolutely stood out, so that's one of the main reasons I'm going to be covering this one first. Streets of Rage 1 was good, it had decent music. I didn't get to play that game until after Streets of Rage 2. Streets of Rage 3, I played that far later in life. I wasn't missing much. It wasn't a terrible game at all, but the soundtrack itself was just not quite as good as Streets of Rage 2, in my opinion, of course. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started, and I hope you guys can dig it.
Streets of Rage 2 was released in 1992 in North America for the Sega Genesis. Yuzo Koshiro, born December 12, 1962, was the mastermind behind this masterpiece. You can tell he had to be a pretty big deal since his name was posted right on the title screen. He used heavy influence from 90s dance, techno, hardcore techno, and breakbeats. As you can tell from this track titled Go Straight, lots of high energy went into this song. Considering this was the first song in the game, you knew you were in for something special. The Yamaha YM2612, the Genesis sound chip, was utilized so well that hardly any other Genesis game music composer could really match up to his quality. This track, titled Slow Moon, has a much more calm groove to it. With the elegant piano keys and digital violin, it was a great change of pace for the soundtrack overall. The music was so good, in fact, Yuzo would end up playing a full DJ set of his most noteworthy songs from the Streets of Rage series, including the songs from Streets of Rage 2. Easily, these tracks would fit right in at any dance club, even till this day. The final boss theme playing now is one of the most intense remix boss themes I've ever heard in a Genesis game. It's a perfect remix to an already stellar boss theme. I remember getting so pumped while fighting this final boss because of this track. It just fits perfectly. I remember as a kid, I would just jam out to all the tracks in the sound test menu. I eventually started recording the music on my cassette player and creating my own playlist. You could say that this soundtrack is responsible for my overall passion for video game music. Yep, it's that good. The track playing now, titled Expander, sounds like its own genre. It's safe to say that this is what they meant by hardcore techno, because it is definitely hardcore for sure. My personal favorite track is Dreamer, which is playing right now. It's just an overall mesmerizing song with amazing melody and a thumping bass line. I still listen to this soundtrack till this day, and I don't plan on stopping anytime soon. Easily one of the best soundtracks a console would ever produce. Don't just take my word for it, listen for yourself.
So there you have it, guys. That was my very first episode of GameTracks. I really hope you guys enjoy the content. I can't wait to start making more content in the future. Don't forget to like, comment, or subscribe if you really dig the channel. That'll just help keep me motivated to make more episodes, of course. Anyway, once again, thanks for tuning in, and I hope you guys have an awesome week. Thanks.